The door rang. My mom opened it up and introduced the guy to me. I was in extreme shock. It was Brad. I almost screamed at my mom, asking her, what is he doing here? Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, going to go over a story titled, My Mom Wants to Have a Talk After Kicking Me Out 2 years ago in favor of her boyfriend who bullied me in high school. Now, this story is a perfect example of why I named this channel They Did What, as you can see in the title. And as you can see, this is definitely one of these stories that already has you questioning if this is accurate or creative writing. However, given what I've been doing for a while now, and I'm a middle-aged guy, you can't make this shit up. And you just never know the crazy stuff that goes out there. Truth is stranger than fiction. So therefore, I'm covering this story, and you can all determine on your own whether this is BS or actually happened. But this is about a guy. He's a young guy. His dad died when he was young, like 1 year old or something like that. And Mom raised him. They were very close growing up because it was just the two of them. And in high school, he had some bullies and all that. And his mom decided to become a part-time gym teacher at his high school. Crazy, because you'd think she'd go to a different school, but fine. And he had a bully and other kids that were giving him shit about her because she's obviously good looking and all that. Well, later on, you're going to find out that the mom has a new guy. As it turns out, the guy that was making fun of him and bullying him in high school. And pretty much boils down to him saying, freaking out, understandably, and she pretty much choosing the new lover over her son. And this part isn't too surprising, as you're going to see, because this type of thing happens when a guy has a woman's soul. And this goes into this whole thing there and all that, and how he handles it and how this whole thing ends. And I guess the main thing of this whole story is, for you guys like to learn things, as a perfect example, is that when a guy truly has a woman's soul, not just her heart, but I'm talking about her soul, her mind, these are the types of guys that women will literally abandon their whole family for, that they'll leave their country for, change religions for. If they're in prison, they'll find a way to break them out of prison, that type of thing, give them all their money, that type of thing. And it's rare. But usually if a woman sees the guy as a true alpha, and again, for whatever reason, he has her soul, has her mind, this stuff happens. And so that's why it's not too impossible that this situation could happen, a woman choosing a lover over her son. So, that being said, starts off, says here, my dad passed away when I was only 1 year old. It's been me and my mom ever since. As you can guess, my mom and I were very close. When I was a sophomore in high school, my mom got a part-time job as a gym teacher at my school. That's ridiculous. Okay, she should go to a different freaking school. This is where I already have an issue with this. I supported her, and when she asked if I'd be comfortable with it, It was actually extremely uncomfortable when guys would make comments on my mom's appearance. What do you expect? And by the way, you get the impression through this whole thing that the mom had him very, very young. Okay, I mean, very young. You know, probably high school herself. So she's no doubt in her 30s. It also gave ammo to Brad, who bullied me in high school. He would make inappropriate comments about her towards me. Brad was 1 year ahead of me, so I thought I was finally rid of him after he graduated. I was wrong. When I became a senior, my mom started going out very often. Initially, I was happy for her because I wanted her to find someone nice. However, it came to a point where I barely got any time together. To be frank, I thought she was avoiding me. This was because whenever I tried to make plans with her, she had already made plans before. Kind of sounds like this guy has a little bit of mommy issues. I sort of kept it to myself because I didn't want to come off as needy. I didn't complain when she missed my birthday because she was out all night. When she tried to apologize the next day, I told her it was okay. Yeah, this is a mama's boy. Definitely. After 6 months of this behavior, I decided to take action. I asked my mom if we could have dinner together. Just the two of us. She said she was too busy. I got fed up and told her to stop ignoring me. She said that she wasn't ignoring me, but she had a life to live. That really hurt me a lot. Out of anger, I started to ignore her for days. Passive aggressive. After those days passed, she finally apologized to me. However, she said she needed to talk about something important. She wanted to introduce me to her boyfriend at dinner. She didn't sound excited about it. It sounds like she almost dreaded it. Huh. After all these months, he hasn't seen this dude. You would think about this. If you guys out there, if you were raised by your mom and it was just the two of you, of course you love your mom, you're going to be protective of your mom. As she starts seeing somebody out of the blue, aren't you as a son going to want to find out who this dude is? You know, certainly after a few dates, let alone 6 months and she's gone all the time. I sure as hell would. When the doorbell rang, my mom opened it up and introduced me to the guy to me. I was in extreme shock. It was Brad. Brad, the bully from high school. I almost screamed at mom, asking her, what is he doing here? Brad came forward to acknowledge that this situation was uncomfortable, but he's sorry at how he treated me in school and that he really cares about my mom. Bullshit. You think he really changed in the course of a year or maybe 2 years? No. He's nailing this kid's mom. And only a certain type of guy would be going for the teacher and all that. And what does this say about his mom? Again, if this story is true, she's hooking up with a guy a year older than her son and obviously going to find out that he was a bully and all that. She doesn't care because it's all about this guy for whatever reason. He has her soul. He has her mind. For whatever reason. And she probably loves all the attention from the young guys. And remember, if we're doing the math here, and we'll come to some ages and everything pretty soon, she was obviously extremely young when she had the kid, which meant she was definitely into a lot of very busy activities as a teenage girl, if you know what I mean. Anyway, Brad comes over with his bullshit. Says here he's really sorry about me and how he really cares about my mom. My mom asked us to sit down and let her explain how it all happened. You mean listen to her bullshit story, how she was effing a student? I remember screaming, I don't give an F about your explanation. You tossed me aside for this piece of shit. You're a pathetic excuse of a mother. Well, I agree with him there. My mom then defended him, saying, don't you dare call him that. She then tried to accommodate everyone in this tough situation by keeping the relationship away from me. She said, like it or not, Brad is here to stay. Then I'd be like, see ya, Mom. We're done. I'll find my own way. You're going to see this guy as a grandma. He can stay with her. Choosing this lover who bullied her son over him. But you know what? Crazier things have happened with women that a guy has their soul. She then says she tried to accommodate everyone else. She said that. Brad is here to stay. If you don't like it, you're more than welcome to leave. Kick her son out. Her child, who she's raised all these years, be over some dude who's 19. Or let me rephrase that. Maybe the guy missed a few grades or something like this, so he's between 19, 20, 21 if he missed a bunch of grades. I packed my bags up right then and there. I called my grandma and told her about the whole situation. She drove to my house and confronted my mom. After a shouting match between them, I left with my grandma. Yeah, I bet grandma had words to say to her daughter, because years earlier, grandma was yelling at her probably for being so young and pregnant. My mom tried calling me several weeks after, but I blocked her. She waited weeks to reach out. She tried to visit me, but I called the cops on her. After that, she sort of gave up. It's been 2 years since I've heard from my mom. Then I got a call from her yesterday. She said it's urgent and we need to meet up. I don't know if I should go. What could be so urgent? After 2 years, now he does claim here she tried to reach out to him and all that. Fair enough. He wants nothing to do with her, and you can't blame him one bit. Kicked him out for God's sakes over this piece of shit she's seeing. I mean, let's just say she met a man her age range, had a good thing going, and for whatever reason the kid didn't like him, then I can see her being upset. But choosing between some dude and her son, her child, then that's a whole different ballgame, let alone the guy that was the bully. I'm convinced they were hooking up when that guy was still a student, and that's what was really going on. That's why she kept it secret, not just because, he was the bully. And it goes to show how selfish she is and how women can be. Now, not all are like this, but you get my point. Now, with the update as to what's going on, why she so urgently needs to talk to him, and how our guy here handles the situation. He says, well, curiosity got the best of me. There was also a burning desire to unload on her. I finally texted back my mom, asking where we should meet. She said we could meet for lunch at a restaurant at 12 p.m. I didn't have any class that day, so I was good to go. When I arrived at the restaurant, I heard some woman scream my name. It was my mom, who I haven't seen for 2 years. So I'm guessing he's out of high school at this point, probably freshman in college or something like that. She asked how I was, and she would hug me and said she She said she would hug me, but she knew I'd reject it. Her voice was shaking when she asked me to follow her to her table. Unsurprisingly, Brad was sitting there. And I'd leave. I'd say, "You're still with him?" "No, we're not going to talk." He didn't even look at me in the eye as we sat down. What a pussy. He just nodded his head as if to simply acknowledge my arrival. As my mom sat down, she started shooting out multiple questions. "What have you been up to? Are you in school? How's it going?" I got annoyed and told her to stop wasting my time with these questions. "What do you want from me?" She responded, "Well, before we tell you, can we explain how all this happened?" He's probably thinking, "Good Lord, are you pregnant? Are you married? Are you getting married?" I said, "Sure. For those of you asking me to get her ass in trouble with the school board, I hate to break it to you, but they never interacted with each other when Brad was in school." So you think. Brad only knew about her because his friends would take pictures of her before gym class and started to share them with everyone. It was Brad who approached her at a bar. She didn't recognize him, so he told her that he went to the high school that she works at and graduated recently. Hang on. If he met her at a bar and he graduated recently, how many grades does this dumbass have to be held back to be that age? Unless he went to the bar with a fake ID and approached her. I mean, this is almost like something from a PORN hub if you think about it. But okay. He approached her at a bar. She didn't recognize him, so he told her that they went to the same high school and that she works at, and he graduated recently. My mom was lonely and jokingly told him she wouldn't tell anyone that he wasn't 21. Aha. As long as he hung out with her. They exchanged phone numbers and made a promise to hang out with each other. You telling me that she, in all these years, hasn't met any other guy, but now she's seeing a guy who happens to be only like 19, 20 years old, and obviously knows her son, the same high school? Come on. She, if this is true, gets off on this and doesn't give a shit about her son. This makes me question what happened to the real father. He said he died, but I don't know. So she kept it a secret and convinced herself it was going to be a short and casual relationship. Eventually, the relationship got serious. When she was hanging out at his house, she asked him about introducing him to me. He told her it wasn't a good idea. She responded by saying, "I'll get over the age gap relationship." He was forced to come clean about the relationship that I had with him in high school. That's why Mom started tearing up and her voice was shaking. She said she was in shock about what she had done. She couldn't sleep at night because of the guilt. Yeah, I could tell how guilty she is given the fact that she kicked him out of the house if he wasn't going to accept her and Brad. Yeah, real guilty. She couldn't even look at me without feeling immense guilt. She had him blocked on her phone, and after a week, he sent him a message on Facebook to at least meet him once. She obliged. He showed up with roses and begged for forgiveness. Whatever. He even said he'll apologize to me in person and that he's a changed person. Bullshit. She took him back. The next was the day that she invited him to dinner. My mom burst into tears and begged me to forgive her for hurting me. She then said these 2 years have been painful for her. Finally, Brad spoke and admitted she misses you. Let me just say this. He said, "She misses you like crazy, dude. She still needs you in her life." My mom said, "I'm sorry for being an awful mother. We want to make it up to you. We're moving to California." Well, those two would fit in perfect in California. "And I want you to come with us. We will foot the bill for your education and everything else. You won't have to work at all. You'll have a permanent place in our home." Our home? So this guy's going to be what? His stepfather who's like 1 or 2 years older than him? The bully from high school? No. Not happening, Mom. No fucking way. And you're just going to support me and pay for everything? Bullshit. I don't know what the hell came to me, but I started laughing like crazy, like a madman. It was the most ridiculous proposition. Yeah, you get to a point that he's done yelling and screaming and feeling numb, and it's to the point it's just funny. Now, this is what makes me the monster. This is what I really came there for. After I calmed down, this is what I said to her. And it has this in quotes. He says, "Mom, you must be one delusional cunt. Ouch. If you think I'll ever forgive you, you are dead to me for good. The only acknowledgement you'll get from me is me pissing on your grave when you pass away." Holy shit. I know this dude's pissed, but this takes it to a whole new level. I mean, I wouldn't even say these things. I'd say other things, but I wouldn't say these things. but she sure as hell would be dead to me at that point. Then she was hysterically crying. I got up from the table and then left the restaurant. Only a minute after walking in the parking lot, I hear my mom screaming at Brad to stop following me. Uh-oh. What's going to happen now? I really wanted this confrontation. The moment he grabs my shirt, I turn around and sucker punch him in the face. He drops on the road with his mouth bleeding. I'm sure that felt good. My mom comes to physically restrain him from hurting me until he calms down. I told him, this is what I think about your proposal. It's been 4 hours now since the incident. I know deep down I should be ashamed of myself, but I'm feeling amazing inside. I don't know if adrenaline can last that long. I feel like it took my power back. And that is the end of this story. Now, aside from some of the words he chose to say, which even I wouldn't say, I just have nothing to do with him. I mean, again, if this is actually real, we have to question it, because this is pretty absurd. But you know what? You never know. Women do crazy things for guys who have their soul in their mind, abandoning their kids, their family, changing religion, all that. But the fact that she went with this guy, she went to his school to be a teacher, gym teacher. So she's walking around shorts, not necessarily short shorts, but shorts. All the guys are going to see her. Major red flag, fucked up there. Then obviously getting involved with the guy who was bullied the son. Okay, fine. Let's just say she didn't know right away, but still, he already got her soul and she chose him over the son. Not cool. And then kicks the kid out if he doesn't accept them. I'd have nothing to do with her for life. And so they can have each other. Because eventually Brad is going to kick her ass to the curb as she starts getting those wrinkles in her 40s. If she's already in her 30s. Boobs sagging, getting old, all that. So we're begging the kid back. Nope. It's better to be alone than to have people in your life that are going to choose others that are going to do you wrong in such a sense. And this is his own mother, for God's sakes. But it's amazing me how selfish people can be in this world. So I wish this guy all the best again, if this story's true. But this goes to show you guys, you never underestimate what will happen, what a gal will do for a guy that has her soul. And who she'll hurt to get him and have her way. Now, a few comments where I wrap up this crazy story here. One guy says here, Brad saying he's changed, but him recognizing what he did to the original poster and going after the OP's mom, knowing despite that, shows he has not changed. Meanwhile, the mom decides it's okay to date her kid's bully, who just graduated from high school. Disgusting behavior. OP is better off deleting these people from his life for good. I couldn't agree more. Another guy says, I'm not sure if I believe a single word about this fable Brad and OP's mom told him. They've had 2 years to come up with this story about how they never interacted in school and only got together afterwards. Correct. And why was this sudden urge to tell him I was so important? I gotta wonder if there's something else going on. He says, I can't wrap my head around the concept either. Dating someone your child went to school with. Dating someone who bullied your child. Forcing confrontations with a self-acknowledged bully doesn't make a shit ton of sense either. Hopefully these two idiots move to California and leave the OP alone. Yeah, let him move there with the rest of the nuts. No offense to my if you're watching this from California and you're watching me and you like my content, obviously you're not a nut, but you know darn well you're surrounded by a lot of nut cases out there. But people are flocking out of that state, that's for sure. I was born in California, so therefore, since I was born there, lived there for a while, I can make fun of it all I want. Another guy says here, I don't care if she never interacted with him while he was still in school. The mom is gross as hell. There's no degree of lonely that could compel me to date one of my children's classmates, let alone their bully. Anyway, and you tell me she couldn't get other guys? Come on. No one says here, honestly, it could have ended much better in my opinion. That guy has not changed, and he would have only kept up the abuse while mom would have just excused it over and over. Mom can't have both the OP and the boyfriend if she needs to accept that. The fact that the mom's proposal was to uproot OP from their life to move in with the estranged mother and abuser. But you don't have to worry about money. I'd rather be living in a freaking cardboard box under a bridge than to be in that situation. And one more, the guy says, rather than getting group therapy, getting to know one another again, maybe spending some time together with the boyfriend, if he actually been apologetic, actually building a relationship. But no, she just wanted to sweep it all under the rug and pretend they were a perfect little family. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what happened. So there you go, guys. Told you that this was a crazy one. This is an example why I named the channel what I did. So let me hear in the comments section. What do you think? Do you think this story is total bullshit or actually crazy enough that actually could happen? I'm on the fence. I have reasons to think it's bullshit, but I also have reasons to think It's certainly possible, given what I understand about female nature, what can happen, all that, and how screwed up people are and all that. Who knows? I'd like to hear your opinion about that. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.